Good evening, and welcome to the fourth Next Day Air FSTS graduation of 2023. We've graduated 44 supervisors so far, and tonight we celebrate the graduation of 15 more, and I couldn't be more proud of you guys. Each one of you brings something unique to the role that you're in, and I hope this class has shed some light on some of the things that you need to do to become more effective at your already tough but most important job here on the front line. Now you guys face the difficult part. You guys have to take what you've learned over the last 2 weeks and actually take it back to the operation with you. It's very, very easy to fall back on old habits, so don't let that happen. Please make sure that you guys are aware that RD and I will always be here for support, as well as your management team, because we all want you to be very, very successful. I compare going back to the operation as going to the gym and working out. You're going to work out for the first couple of days, maybe the first week, second week or so, and you're looking in the mirror and you're really not going to notice that much changes. And maybe even 2 months into it, you're not going to notice that much changes. But 6 months later, if you look in the mirror after going to the gym every single day, you're going to see some gains. Your work area is going to be the exact same way, but you have to make sure that you guys stick with what we teach you guys. All right, all the soft skills that we taught you in class, all the role plays, make sure that you guys use the information we gave you, use your workbooks, go back and reference them. So let's talk about some of the things that you guys have learned in the last 2 weeks. Remember the difference between leading and managing, and how one's an appointed title and the other one's looked up to as a great role model. You manage tasks and you lead people, but there are times we need you guys to be both. We want you guys to be both. Remember the importance between leading all of your people and not just 80%, because a workforce that feels inclusive is 50% more productive. Remember the importance of being fair and consistent to your employees and not lenient. Accountability works if it's administered correctly. It's not there to fire people and terminate employees. It's there to actually change their behavior. Remember to engage with all your employees. You need to build that special bond with each and every one of them. Your employees won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Remember how important attitude is. And remember the things that we covered here in class aren't just UPS lessons, but they're life lessons as a whole. Wherever you are in life, if you need to, don't hesitate to sing in that mud, and don't ever, ever ring that bell. The class wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for Worldport Management Team coming in and dedicating their time to actually give presentations. I thank them for all their times they have presented in the past, and I thank them for their future efforts as well. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Jeff Semenick, Jeff Sirota, and Norman Seawright for all that they do in class. Semenick reinforces the importance of safety, retention, and relationship building with your employees. Sirota talked about numerous things, but when it comes down to it, the results don't mean anything if your employees don't feel good about it. Norman reinforces the difference between leading and managing. He stresses the importance of teamwork and planning. He brings home the importance of relationship building by building that bond with you guys in just a short 2 hours that he's here and knowing your first name by the time he leaves. Make sure that you guys stay in school and always sharpen your saw. Norman, thank you for all you do. Now I'd like to turn the podium over to RD, who continues to do a great job here in FSTS. RD?
I would first like to thank the Worldport Management Team for sending their soups, without which we would not be able to do what we do. To the class, James and I are so very, very proud of you all. Because you allowed yourself to be vulnerable, to learn, because you allowed yourself to retain the information, because of your buy-in, you guys have all of these tools that you can go and sharpen the operation and create this culture that we're all reaching for and that is very attainable. It's within reach. So thank you all so much for your buy-in. Thank you all so much for being vulnerable. 3 things. Don't forget that we starts with I. Do not forget to inspect yourselves daily so that you can bring the best to your teams. And if the opportunity ever presents itself, always, always, always go down swinging. Now, we will start our graduation. Emily. Congratulations, Emily.
Good evening. My name is Emily Swanson. I'm from Small Sort Input. First, I would like to thank my management team, Allison Lockhart and Brian Overall, for giving me this opportunity for this 2-week FSTS class. I've learned many, many things in this class, but overall, I've learned to not focus so much on numbers and instead focus on developing my people, because after that, the numbers will follow. I want to thank RD and James for teaching me so much in FSTS. Thank you.
Next, we will have Rameka. Rameka was awarded Best Dressed and scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Rameka.
Good evening. My name is Rameka Johnson, and I'm currently a hub supervisor in Building 1. I'd like to thank my management team, Danielle Summit and Michael Vaughn, for allowing me time away from the operation to attend FSTS. Amongst the many things I've learned throughout this short journey, one of the most influential things that I will be taking back with me is the importance and steps of building up my people. When I first came out on the floor, I thought the easiest way to be able to build relationships was just simply being nice to my employees. I learned very quickly that this was not enough. While it was a good start, I realized that building relationships required me to be more actively involved in the well-being, interests, and goals of my employees. It involves me to instill a sense of importance to everyone that I am working with. With that, I will be returning back to my work area with a tremendous amount of warmth. So if you ever happen to stop through Building 1 and stop through the feeder wall, expect the temperature to be rising. Thank you.
Next, we will have Austin. Austin was a part of the competition team winners and scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Austin.
Good evening. My name is Austin Twyman, and I work in small store input. I would first like to thank my management team, Allison Lockhart, John Bissell, and Brian Overall for allowing me to come to FSTS for 2 weeks. One of the many things I learned in FSTS that stuck with me is the importance of creating an inclusive environment so that everyone feels welcome and included in this company. And as a supervisor, it is my responsibility to lead by example. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Lucas. Lucas scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Lucas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lucas Hedges. I work in South Core Unload. I would like to thank my current management team, Brian Harden and Timmy Smith, for allowing me to spend 2 weeks to soak in all this beautiful information I've learned at FSTS management class. But I would say out of all those 2 weeks that I've spent here, FSTS has brought me so many things and so many great qualities that I can bring back with my people, but there's one that's really stuck with me all this time, and it has to be the importance of relationships. And when I say that, I don't just strictly mean with our people, but it's also with our management. Because in order for you to get here, someone, whether it was you or somebody else, believed in you. They believed that you could be a good fit for this spot. They believed that you could be a great leader. And it flatters me to this point that I realize that I am in a position now to where I can give that for other people. I think it's important to understand as a role as a leader, not only is it great to develop your skills, but to also develop your other people's skills. Because eventually one day, I hope to take these things of what I've learned from FSTS and help get somebody else to the spot that I'm in right now. And I'm very fortunate to be here. I want to thank RD, James, and Joe, and all our guest speakers for coming in and bringing such great knowledge to me. And I really can't stress how fortunate I am for me to be here right now. And the other biggest thing is I learned it's FSTS and not Hub School, so don't get it wrong. Very glad to have met everybody here. You guys are such bright individuals. I know you have bright futures ahead of you all, and I can't wait to see what future lies ahead for everybody else. Thank you for your time.
Next, we'll have Hannah. Hannah was one of the competition team winners, and she was also elected to be the Jim Casey Legacy Speaker. Congratulations, Hannah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hannah Dunn, and I'm the full-time coverage supervisor for Wing Delta's Unload. I would like to start by thanking my current management team, David Cooper and James Leister, for allowing me 2 weeks out of the operation to come to this class. I would also like to thank James and RD for teaching us so many things at FSTS. I would also like to thank David Cooper and Stacy Adams for taking the time to come and support me tonight. And lastly, I would like to thank my 2 little girls for not being too mad at their mom for leaving for work early. Out of all the things I learned at FSTS, the thing that sticks with me the most is the qualities of a good leader. These are things that I will not just take back with me to the operation, but with every day for my whole life. I will strive to be caring, loyal, and understanding in all things. I am so happy to have met all of you guys, and I hope to see you all in the future. Thank you.
Next, we will have Jordan. Congratulations, Jordan.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Kinney and I work on the Delta ramp. I'd like to start off by thanking both my management, Stacy Adams and David Cooper, for letting me come. And the third one I'd also like to say is Corey Njunga. I also appreciate him for letting me come out to take the classes for the last 2 weeks and be able to experience new things and learn some stronger developmental skills. Out of everything that I've learned here in FSTS, the one that stuck with me the most is safety. It is preached to us religiously, and it is a very important part of where we are here. We are at a factory job, we are at a warehouse job. A lot of things are moving around, and it is really important to leave the same way that you all came in, not for just us, but for our employees as well. I'd also like to thank both James and RD for letting us experience this that we might not have been able to experience on our own, and with all the information that they've given us. And with that, I would say thank you.
Next, we'll have Veronica. Veronica won the Knowledge Bee, and she scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Veronica.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Ashton. I work in Wing Charlie Unload. I would like to thank my management team, Paul Nicholson, Mike Perkins, and Ryan Jones for allowing me to attend FSTS. One of the many things that I have learned throughout this course is the importance of creating an inclusive and diverse working environment. This is important because everyone should feel included and feel like they belong and that they're all equally important. Thank you.
Next, we will have Emma. Emma scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Emma.
Good evening. My name is Emma Wicke, and I work in Wing Alpha Unload. I would like to thank my current management team, Kevin Hoffman and Tyler Sawville, for letting me take these 2 weeks to come to class to develop my leadership skills. Of the numerous things I learned in FSTS, the thing that stuck with me the most is how important fostering relationships is. This can have the biggest impact on an area because without good relationships with your coworkers, it is impossible to have a strong, positive environment in the workplace. I would like to thank RD and James and everyone else here and all of our guest speakers from the last 2 weeks for making this a wonderful and very memorable experience.
Next, we will have Latonia. Congratulations, Latonia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Latonia Goodrich. I am in hub training, and I would like to thank my management team, Joe Ballinger and Dalton Henretti, for allowing me to attend FSTS for 2 weeks. Of the many things I've learned in FSTS is what I call harmony. What is harmony, Latonia? What makes up the harmony at UPS is safety, retention, and building of those great relationships. If we have safety and retention without relationship, there would be low quality performance and low morale. If we have retention and relationship without safety, there would be injuries, damaged equipment, and loss of revenue. If we have safety and relationships and no retention, we would not be able to move our company forward by delivering what matters, harmony. Thank you, James, and thank you, RD. Thank you, everyone, and I'm gonna miss you guys, but thank you.
Anthony, Anthony was voted best dressed and scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Anthony.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Woods. I am a supervisor in the grade lane outbound. I just want to start by saying thank you to my management team, Melvin Lewis and Morgan Hines, not only for giving me the opportunity to come here, but giving me the opportunity to be a supervisor. I'd also like to thank my coverage supervisors, Madison Price and Haley Lasley, for keeping my area looking nice even while I wasn't there. I learned multiple useful practices in these 2 weeks at FSTS, but out of the wealth of knowledge, I gleaned the most the standards of professionalism. Learning about the standards of professionalism in this course helped me understand that maintaining my image is not only a reflection of myself, but also a reflection of this company, the people who care for me, and my team. I want to say again, thank you to James and RD for leading such an excellent course, and thank you to you guys for being awesome classmates.
Dynasti, congratulations.
Hi, I'm Dynasti Ligon. I work at Worldport Freight Facility in the truck dock area. I would first like to start by thanking my full-time supervisors, Josh Salea and Alyssa De Silva, for encouraging me to attend FSTS and contributing to my development. Speaking of development is one of the many things that was hammered into my brain during FSTS that I will be taking back with me to my work area. Development is essential for becoming the best version of myself as a supervisor, an employee, and even in my personal life. Development sets the foundation for success in all aspects of life. One thing I always try to tell myself is to try to be 1% better each and every day, and I will now be taking this motto and applying it in my work area as well. I would like to finish by thanking James and RD for building onto my life and building onto the skills that I've learned. I would also like to thank my class for being great classmates and for encouraging me and lifting me up in all the issues that you guys have helped me solve. Thank you.
Peyton. Peyton was part of the competition winning team, and she scored a perfect test score. Congratulations, Peyton.
Hi, my name is Peyton House, and I'm from Ramp IE. I would like to thank my management team, Olivia Ratterman and Terry Butler, for allowing me the 2 weeks to come to FSTS. I would also like to thank my teammate, Madison Jenkins, for covering for me while I was gone. Of the many things I learned in FSTS, one thing that will always stick with me is the policy, we place great value on diversity. All the things that make us different are the things that make us collectively great. Different backgrounds bring us different ideas and different perspectives. As supervisors, it is our job to maintain the diversity at UPS. Thank you.
Justin. Justin was voted most improved and had a perfect test score. Congratulations, Justin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Groulx. I work on the 911 ramp. I'd like to thank my management team. First off, I'd like to thank my full-time supervisor, Kyle Peyton, as well as my two ramp managers, Eric K. Kraft and Bree Beekler. Of the many things I learned in FSTS, is one of the most important things I found was the importance of accountability. Not only the accountability of keeping your people safe and in good spirits, but also sending them home each night the same way they came in. Accountability doesn't just stop with our people, though. It also pertains to myself and always holding myself accountable for my own responsibilities and development, as well as pushing myself to be better inside and outside of work. Thank you all.
Brendan, congratulations.
Hello, I'm Brendan Wainscott, and I work in grade lane outbound. I'd first like to thank my management team, Tanisha Tinsley and Melvin Lewis, for allowing me this opportunity. And I would also like to thank James and RD for teaching us everything that we have learned. Out of the many things I have learned in FSTS, leadership is by far the most important topic to me. We need good leaders to move us forward, not only at UPS, but in all aspects of life. Leadership is not about power or position, but about serving others with humility and compassion. A true leader does not measure success by personal achievements, but by the impact they have on others. So always strive to improve others as well as yourself, and remember to always ask for help because we all need it at times. Thank you.
Chris, congratulations.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Chris Young, and I work in the Wing Delta Outbound. First off, I'd like to thank my management team, Corinne Farrell and David Cooper, for allowing me to spend 2 weeks in FSTS. I'd also like to thank Anderson Rushing for covering my area in my absence. Of the many things I learned in FSTS, the most impactful thing that I take away from this class are the qualities that make up a true leader. A leader shows tremendous poise, unwavering integrity, compassion, and upholds accountability not only from their staff, but from themselves as well. As I return to the operation, I'll keep top of mind the importance of my role as a frontline supervisor. I'll also work diligently to see that my staff is getting a distinguished level of training and leadership necessary to be successful inside and outside of UPS. Lastly, I'd like to thank RD, Mr. Herman, and all of the guest speakers for pouring into us over these last 2 weeks. You are truly a wealth of knowledge. Thank you.
And now with tonight's legacy is Hannah. Hannah.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I've always heard that all good speeches start with a joke. But if you knew me as a union employee, you know that me being up here right now is probably the biggest joke of all. You see, I wasn't the best union employee. I was loud, opinionated, wanted to play by my own rules, and I thought that I could run my area better than my current supervisors. But I've grown a lot in my 7 years with this company. And while I'm still all of those things, I use those characteristics for good now. My growth here as a person has two main factors. The first being finding people in our company to look up to and learning from them, taking something from each of those leaders and applying it to myself. The second part is my amazing daughters. I needed to be the person that they could look up to. Every day when my oldest gets out of the car, I tell her, be a leader and make a difference. But how could I hold her to that standard if I didn't hold myself to those? After my second daughter was born, I put my future on hold. Defeated in this decision, I lost myself and my drive. But all it took was for one person to see something in me, to see that my future could be here at this company. Keeping all of this in mind, trying to find my legacy that I would read tonight, it brought me to this one. Furthermore, the only way we can find out what a person is capable of is to give that person the opportunity of trying and the responsibility of producing results. A person who has responsibility for something feels important. Somebody once said, a sense of importance is the greatest drive in the world. All of us have been surprised by ourselves and have been surprised by the performance of others when made responsible for the accomplishments of a defined result. To my classmates, keep in mind that everything that we have learned in our short time at FSTS. Remain true to yourselves and never count anybody out. I hope to see you all in the future, but if I don't, my biggest hope is that you continue to grow as people and that you get everything that you want out of life. Thank you.
Class, you chose well. I think you guys owe yourself one big round of applause. Congratulations on your graduation. I'd like to thank the various management teams that have shown up to support their frontline soups here. Graduation is officially over. Go have some fun.